Dustin Long, NBC Sports. With the top 3 points, Larson, Bell, and you all have, I guess I'd say, similar backgrounds, and the success that you've had this season throughout the whole year. I'm curious, from a dirt track background, what that means to see what you guys have been able to do and to win the races and have the success. And while drivers can come from any discipline to this series, what it might mean for the young kids or younger people out there to see what you guys are doing at this point.
Yeah, I think I've only been a part of small chapters of it, right? I've only done this for a few years, but it certainly seems like from a fan's perspective, my perspective as a fan growing up, there was less reward for taking the risk, and I feel like now that just continues to elevate. So for us, when we come from dirt racing, we're used to making aggressive moves, dealing with aggressive racetracks, if you will, at times too, and just having to go out there and in the first lap or two find it. You get 3 or 4 laps and warm up or practice, and you got to go run a lap in qualifying. So I think just our nature, our upbringing really kind of primed us for how this car races today. You hear Kyle talk about it right at Bristol. I mean, you're just 100% of all you got for 500 laps at Bristol, and that's just kind of the mindset we had growing up as drivers, just to always push the issue. I remember the last time I did go run some dirt, it was like, wow, my mindset's really shifted, because you're used to having 40, 50 laps opening stage or 20, 30 laps in practice to really feel what you have. And when you go dirt racing, you need to find it in 2 laps. And a lot of times your race is 20 to 30 laps, maybe 50 in some of the bigger ones. So you don't have the time, the luxury of time that you do here. So it does really seem like the dirt racing mindset has applied well to this next-gen car, I feel.
And, you talk about the first round not being as good as you'd hoped. And obviously in all of sports, there's always this talk of momentum, positive or negative. And, a team can be good throughout the whole season and all of a sudden hit a slump at the wrong time, and all of a sudden they're in trouble in the playoffs. How do you look at momentum? Because this stretch here was, I think maybe there's one other stretch in the spring that wasn't as good for you. But other than that, you've been, like you said, consistent, had the top 5s or get top 10s and score stage points, and haven't had that. How do you look at that momentum? How do you worry? I mean, how do you address it, or is it just each track is so different that you don't look at momentum? Because a lot of people look at it as some sort of X factor in a way.
Yeah, when things are going good, it's easy. Confidence comes with very little effort, right? And I think when you have a tough stretch or a bad weekend, you have to, however it may work for you or that team, you've got to do the things that help get you back in the right mindset going into the next weekend. So, yeah, it was certainly, a letdown for us to perform like we did in the first round. But, it's hard to stay down for more than a couple hours after the race, because when we look ahead and see what we have in front of us, one, a great opportunity, but also very, very good racetracks for our team, good style of racetracks for our team. So it's you're kind of in control of that, if you will, the team, the driver. You just got to have the right mindset. And we've had these things happen in the past. The year ago, it was up, and as soon as it got up, it was all the way back down to the very bottom. So we've had to deal with this in the past. So I think we can manage it.